I get that asked that all the time. What is EMDR? So what it stands for is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And as you can imagine, that's a mouthful. So we just use the acronym EMDR. What EMDR is a accelerated form of neurological processing. Some EMDR therapists use EMDR as a standalone therapy as a whole, which is what I do, as well as some therapists use EMDR as a tool in their practice. So what EMDR does, first of all, I gotta say, it looks really, really strange. So pretty classically, a therapist will be sitting in front of the client and waving their hand back and forth in front of their face, and the client follows with their eyes back and forth, or tapping on the knees back and forth. And it looks very, very odd. It almost looks like hypnosis or something like that, which is not. But what EMDR does is we identify the source of somebody's distress, which would be trauma or negative experiences in one's life, and we can talk more about that in a bit. But that's the source of the distress, and what we need to do with EMDR is access both hemispheres of the brain back and forth in alternating fashion. So that allows the brain to finally process information that was not properly processed at the time of these pivotal incidents. Does that make sense so far?
It does.
Okay. It's so, yeah, so yeah, I often say that EMDR is not talk therapy. I don't sit in front of my client. We don't talk for the entire time that I'm working with them. In fact, there's very little talking that happens in EMDR. Of course, we have to communicate and provide consent as to what's happening, and have to get a rough idea of what we're going to be focusing on. But when we're actually processing the desensitization and reprocessing part of EMDR, there's very little talking, which actually allows the individual to fall deeper into their felt sense rather than staying in the left side of the brain and utilizing their logical reasoning and the Broca's area where language is. And so it looks very strange, but it's very effective, and it works much, much quicker than other types of therapies.